This is a watershed moment for Palestine, for justice and for international law. Israel's occupation has been declared unlawful by the World Court, which has stipulated that it must be terminated completely and as rapidly as possible. The court also found that illegal Israeli occupation violates the UN Charter, human rights, and international humanitarian law. The court further unequivocally declared that all Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territory are illegal and must be dismantled, and that all Israeli settlers must be evacuated. The court declared that Israeli illegal occupation not only violates but eviscerates the Palestinian people's right to self-determination in their own land, including the right to their own state. This ruling couldn't be more timely or sorely needed. The Palestinian people have endured unbearable suffering and injustice for decades. This ruling is a vindication of their steadfastness and perseverance. This right must no longer be denied or deferred. The court made clear that the Palestinian people are the only sovereign in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, and that the international community is under an obligation not just to reaffirm the Palestinian people's right to self-determination, but to see to it that this right is implemented immediately. All states and the UN are now under obligation not to recognize the legality of Israel's presence in the occupied Palestinian territory.
Shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachah Kodash, double honor to our venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, and just want to do a real quick, drive and talk, if you will. Today is the Sabbath, but unfortunately, brothers have to be on the plantation, whatever the case may be. All right, but I'm just driving it through the spirit. Where I'm at right now, there's a lot of trees and it's kind of quiet. You barely get reception out here. So, just wanted to meditate on something, right? And of course, the only thing that came into my mind, all right, is the coming troubles, right? This year being, all right, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. We've seen quite a lot of things that's pretty much the prelims of Jacob's trouble, as is written in the scriptures. All right, we've seen the wars and rumors of wars, right? And that continues to, escalate, all right, on a daily basis. They call it a conflict, right? Every time you hear Anthony Blinken, all right, talking his shit, he's always using the word conflict, because they don't want to have no issues with the so-called UN or whatever the case may be, right? But a conflict is just a modern day propaganda term, otherwise known as war. All right, so there's definitely war going on, but they're not calling it war. They're just calling it a conflict. You got to de-escalate the conflict, blah, blah, blah. Got to make sure that these other countries don't get involved, or else it's going to be more of a conflict. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, we know what you're talking about. All right, so that's a fulfillment of biblical prophecy of wars and rumors of wars, right? Seeing what's going on with Russia, Ukraine. Now you got this whole Gaza-Israel situation. I believe yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, I did see a video where they were calling I forget if it's the World Court or something. I forget exactly the name for it, but they officially deemed Israel or the Israelis or the state of Israel an illegal occupation in the land of Palestine, right? And that basically that the world is going to have to enforce that verdict. So I said, oh shit, why is nobody talking about this? So I'm going to do a little bit of research on it, follow up on it, and Lord willing, just bring it out, through the spirit, Lord willing, when I get home. But, that's another thing to watch out for, right? This whole Iran-Israel conflict, right? We've been talking about that as is written in the book of Jeremiah. All right, I believe that Jeremiah 49th chapter and Jeremiah the 50th chapter talks about the least of the flock drawing them out. Okay, so we're starting to see all the steps that leads to that ultimate nuclear all-out war. Okay, which all these elites, so-called elites, are preparing for. Right, you got the Warren Buffetts, all right, taking out assets and so on and so forth. Basically making financial decisions that the average person has no idea even exists. Right, so that's a huge sign of impending danger or doom. See what I'm saying? And then of course you have the earthquakes that's been going on pretty much since the beginning of this year. That huge 7.1 or 7.2 earthquake that hit Japan to start off the year. I believe it was the first of the year too when it hit. You know what I mean? So that's another huge sign right there. Right, and throughout the year, pretty much three-fourths way out of the year. Okay, we've been seeing a lot of earthquakes. I believe Cali got rocked right earlier this year in April. Remember, New York got hit. New York, Jersey area, right? 4.8 earthquake or something like that, right? So, earthquakes been happening, but now it's been, much more frequent and a little bit more disastrous, if you will, right? So that's another sign that our Lord told us to look out for, that we're actually seeing happening, okay, before His return, okay? And then, of course, let's not forget the civil war that's brewing. All right, I saw a video yesterday where they were saying that it looks like the so-called migrants are being positioned, okay, to kick off the civil war, right? If I'm not mistaken, I believe DC yesterday they were saying that there was some type of protest / riot that was happening, and it was causing for the authorities to step in, right? So, we've been having. I did a video, was it last week, where around the East Coast, you've had military movement, a lot of military movement and training and so on and so forth that they're doing, right? Nobody's talking about it because the news is not bringing it up because they don't have to, right? They don't want to, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to and they don't have to. So if you're not in tune with what the prophets are saying pertaining to prophecy, you're going to be lost, man, completely lost, all right? Because you're not going to get that information that you need anywhere else besides from where the prophets, the true men of the Lord are. Which starts from our elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. All right, that's where you're going to find the truth, okay, of what's actually going on around the world pertaining to biblical prophecy. Okay, you can go to these pastors, you can go to these false prophets, and you're not going to get nowhere. You might get some truth, but not the whole truth. Okay, and at this point, at this juncture, what you want is the whole truth because that's the only way you're going to lead to salvation. All right, it starts with the name of the Lord. Okay, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And once you get that name, everything else follows. Okay, the true order actually follows, man. All right. But we have that going on, and that's all setting up the stage for what we call the mandatory implementation of the MOTB. Because as it stands right now, the MOTB is out. Okay, you got Sweden, all right, which we always talk about. Sweden, they already have an economy that runs with the MOTB as a thing. It's a norm. You know what I mean? It ain't no, oh man, we're gonna have to go through this and there's gonna be martial law. But nah, they're good. They are good. They're chilling. You know what I'm saying? It's everyday life. They don't see anything wrong with it because they're all Edomites. Okay, and you got these different countries all around the world setting up their digital world, all right, to bring about this MOTB. Okay, now we always say the mandatory implementation because it ain't gonna go down until it becomes mandatory. See what I'm saying? Things don't go down until it becomes mandatory. So right now, it's more of an option. You got this company out in Wisconsin known as what's that? 3 Square Market. Okay, the 3 Square Market company, and they had a few years ago they had C-hipped, if not all the employees, it'll be most of the employees. Okay. And they C-hip them, and that's pretty much the way they use for work. Okay, so you got Sweden, which did a nice test on an economy, right? A whole country or an economy that runs with the MOTB system. And then you got a company in America known as 3 Square Market that focused on, employer/employee relationship with the MOTB being the middle ground, if you will. All right, the way in which you can do anything. You can register yourself. You can open your door. It's your key holder, your ID, all that. It comes through the MOTB. So now they know that, okay, this thing can work, right? It can work here in America, and so on and so forth. So it's only a matter of time, all right, before we start seeing these governments start taking those measures to bring this thing full-fledged, full force. Okay, and it's not going to be, like, it takes time to get there, but once it gets there, it's going to be quick. It's going to be happening quick. Okay, because the infrastructure is already there. All right, so it's not going to take long or take much, all right, to bring it as a mainstay. We've been saying that we got what? We're in what is it, September, right? We got September, we got October, November, December, 3 more months before we hit so-called 2025. All right, and it looks like Esau done got a lot of things planned up for the next couple of months. All right, it's been whispers. Yeah, I'm saying that word, whispers, right? That October is going to be a major surprise. You know what I mean? And it's got these elites moving quick before the month of October. All right, because that gives us so-called 1 month before November, which is when the election is supposed to take place. All right, like I always say, I believe we might not have an election, but we will see. All right, we're going to see. We're going to be watching, and we're going to see it. But it looks like October they might pull some shit. We don't know. We're going to see. All right, we're going to see. But all we know is, all right, the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua is about to make that move. Okay, because all the signs that he said to look out for, we're seeing them. All right, we're seeing them. So it's only a matter of time before he says, all right, it's go time. As it's written in Revelation, the 7th chapter, all right, that the angels were told to hold on until the servants of the Lord were sealed. All right, and then once the sealing is done, all right, that's when the calamities are going to rain forth upon the face of the earth. Okay, you're going to have financial woes, you're going to have civil wars, you're going to have governments coming against their people because their people are fed up with their BS, right? You're having all these things happening all at once, all right? And that's, again, bringing in that misery that opens up the door for that that solution, which is known as the MOTB solution, okay? And it's going to be mandated, it's going to be implemented, and it's going to be implanted, okay? And that's just how it's going to be. And it's going to be by force of military action. You know what I mean? It's going to be done by military action, man. So, hey, man, it's going to be some crazy times that we're about to enter into, man. And that's why your faith is going to be the biggest, most important thing, right? The greatest commodity in these days that we're entering into is going to be your faith. All right, it's not going to be your next brother, right? Now, the Lord could have it where you might have a brother who might be able to help you out in a certain situation or whatever the case may be, right? But ultimately, you got to know that, hey, shit, if it goes down and you by yourself or you're with a bunch of unbelievers, you're going to be the only one that's going to be that light in the darkness. Okay, so you got to be prepared. You got to be very, very, prepared in your mind to deal with shit like that. It's good when you with brothers because, hey, that's a whole bunch of lights. You ain't going to have no darkness. But if you get to a point where you're the only light in the midst of darkness, you're going to have to shine super bright. And you can't do that by yourself if the Lord is not with you. See? So, hey, man, you got to keep that in your mind. That any day now, this shit could go down just like that. Some crowd strike type energy. Just one day you just wake up early in the morning and it's just like, okay, it affects everyone. All right. And those who are the elect, we're going to be able to, Lord willing, we're part of that number. We're going to be able to navigate, all right, beautifully through this digital maze, if you will. Right. We're not having this MOTB. All right, not complying with the system, not bowing the knee, and so on and so forth. As is written, the Lord said he's reserved 7,000 men that will not bow the knee unto the image of Baal. Okay, so that 7,000, it means a complete amount of number, a complete amount of men, or a complete amount of spirits who are going to be looked at as a beacon of light, right? The last hope of humanity, if you will. You know what I mean? And the Lord is definitely going to, hold us up, man. All right, because we're going to keep our faith in the Lord. As is written, have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is with thee whithersoever thou goest. All right? So we got to keep that in mind and keep on with the prayers. All right? With the fasting. Okay? And just keep it in your mind, man, because any day now, we've been saying it for a long time, and that's how warnings, an effective warning is a warning that goes on for a very prolonged amount of time. That way, everyone can hear it. And those who don't take heed to the warning, they can be destroyed. All right, but you typically notice that when there's a warning, not everyone makes it out. All right, not everyone is able to even hear the warning. Most people don't make it out. All right, just a few people that will hear it, the ones who hear it first and react to it quickly. Those are the ones that typically make it out of the danger or that dangerous situation. And that's only the elect who are going to have that ability to do that. Not only to hear the calling, but also to respond to it appropriately. Meaning whatever the problem is, the Lord will give you the perfect solution for that problem. Okay? And without wavering, without doubt, without fear, without uncertainty, you're going to make the right decision. All right? The only decision is not take that MOTB and trust in the Lord, and He'll come through for us. All right? Esau going to come in with his threats. You're going to have friends who are going to come against you, family who's going to come against you, right? Because they're going to make the decision. But we, on this side, we're going to serve our Lord. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and Him only shall we serve. That's it. We will have no other gods besides Him, and that's it. So He wants to make Himself a God on this earth. Go ahead and do so. All right? Your attempt to be a God on this earth is vain, and it will not last long. All right? You've had all this power over the earth, and what did you do with it? You just destroyed it. You're just a devil, man. You destroyed the whole entire earth like that. Look at the state in which people are living in now. People are so goddamn confused. They talking about voting for Kamala Harris, and the only reason because she's a black woman. That's when people are destroyed, man. Completely gone. They out of there. Out of there, man. Just wait for missiles, and that's it. So hey, man, we're getting ready. That shakeup, the true shakeup is coming. And all you people who've been comfortable in your sins, all right. Well, the Lord He about to ask some questions. And if you ain't got no answers, you already know where that's going. All right, you already know where that's going, or you should know. But yeah, man, just wanted to bring that out real quick. Nothing really major, just a little something that's on my mind. That I just want to convert to an epistle. All right, Lord willing, any member of the elect may hear it, and it would comfort your spirit. All right, that we're gonna be all right. All right, we're gonna be just fine, man. Just trust in the Lord. All right, we've done it, so we know very well how the Lord operates. Okay, and especially when you're in the most dire situation. All right, that's when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai makes a way for you. He comes through for you. So don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the doubters. Don't listen to these other camps that have no idea what's going on. Just leave them out of it, man. Just leave them alone. All right, and let the Lord deal, because ultimately, when the judgment comes, they're gonna be looking for the real men of the Lord. All right, Scripture says, "Then shall they be known who are my chosen." Right. So that time is when you have the calamities hitting, and you have those who are being exempt from that calamity, that judgment. Right, Ezekiel 9, the 4th chapter, all the way down to about the 7th, 8th verses. All right, goes into that. Okay, so you're gonna have people who are gonna be exempt from that judgment, and those are the ones who are marked for deliverance. Okay, marked as an exemption from that judgment that's coming. Okay, and the judgment is coming. All right, judgment is coming. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it up there. Lord willing, you were edified. I'm going to leave off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Kodash, to water Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And until next time, Shalom to the elect. Shalom.
Homer, meet the Springfield Preppers. What would you do in the case of an EMP?
Electromagnetic pulse.
A burst of radiation that knocks out every electrical system in the country.
Impending doom.
What you reading, Dad?
Honey, everything's fine. There's nothing to worry about.
When things go south, the sheeple will clean out every supermarket in town.
Typical sheeple. So, what have you learned so far from our post-apocalyptic movie marathon?
Guys who call themselves preacher or deacon are very bad. Water is money, unless gasoline is money, and even though lots of things are razor sharp, no one ever shaves.
Hollywood has taught you well, my son.
Here it is, Homer. The Springfield Preppers' top-secret bug-out retreat.
Wow! Your end of the world is better than my during the world.
Homer, we all know America's collapse is about 3 months away.
6 weeks at most.
There's always one alarmist. Anyway, when the 4 horsemen ride, we want you and your collaterals right here with us.
Hidden all our supplies behind a fake wall.
I thought the basement looked cleaner.
See? These are our bug-out bags. In here, it's everything we need to survive.
Survive what?
The looming kablooey.
It's reassuring to see you're aware of the future, but this is all a little creepy.
Creepy? Marge, the apocalypse is coming. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe never. But it's coming. And soon.
I'm going to bed.
An EMP?
You know what that means?
Hand scissors.